Hey everybody, Dr. Ben Atkins here, and welcome to Big Money Friday. We're going to go behind the scenes today and talk about a topic that I don't talk about enough, but it's such an important part of what I do. We're going to go behind the scenes today and talk about 3 foot in the door strategies that have been getting us a ton of agency clients over the last 6 months. Now, I've been doing this with foot in the door stuff, like not recurring revenue. I'm talking about the thing that establishes the client so that I can later on talk them into recurring revenue and get them on the bigger services. I've been doing this for 5-10 years. What you're going to learn today is not what I've been doing for 5-10 years. What you're going to learn today is what is working the best right now in terms of foot in the door strategies, because these foot in the door strategies, these tiny one-time sales that turn into recurring revenue, this strategy has worked forever, but we change up what works as technology evolves, and you'll see why here in just a few minutes. Do me a favor right now, if you are here with me right now, or maybe you happen to be watching the replay later, if we have a replay that we're lucky enough to put out and I don't mess it up, do me a favor right now, jump in the chat, and I want you to let me know that you would like an easier way to get clients. An easier way to get clients. That's the big deal. If you want an easier way to get clients, if you want something that people will actually seek you out for, meaning you don't have to go always banging on doors, calling people, cold emailing, those kind of things. If you'd like to know an easier and proven way of getting clients, jump in that chat right now and let me know that you've got. Okay. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through this today. And if you've been to a Big Money Friday before, you know the theme of this. It's big things that you can learn in a small amount of time that make a big impact. So this is going to be about a 30 to 40-minute call. You're going to learn some skills that are pretty huge that are going to make a big impact in your business. And when you get off this call, you're going to be able to use a lot of what you've got that you learned on this call. So before we get started, I got a couple questions for you. The first one is this: how many of you here are actively paying a subscription for a software membership that I'm connected to? Meaning you pay me something monthly, whether it's a piece of software, whether it's a membership. How many of you right here pay me for something monthly? Meaning you're on a monthly program with me where I am somehow receiving revenue from you on a recurring basis. Jump in the chat for me right now and let me know if you are on at least one recurring program with me. You can say no too. If it's a yes, give me a yes. If it's a no, give me a no. All of those things are acceptable answers. Let me tell you right now, I'm looking at the chat right now, and 98%, I would say, because we've got quite a few people here, and I'm obviously estimating here, but around 98% of the people in the chat right now, there were some no's for sure. That's okay. That's expected. Just wait. I'll get you eventually. I'll get you eventually. I'm kidding. But the idea here is 98% of people on this call right now pay me for a monthly. Let's go with another one. Let's go with another one. How many of you here? Here's a different question. How many of you here bought at least one or two, or at least 2 things for me in the last 12 months? At least more than one thing in the last 12 months. How many of you have bought more than one thing from me in the last 12 months? Yeah, that number is pretty high too. that number is pretty high too. Last one, and I don't know that everybody here can answer this. I can pretty much answer it for you, but I want to ask you, let's see if you can remember. Last one here. How many of you can remember a time when you had no idea who I was? Hopefully everybody, right? But do you know when it was? Do you know when it was? Do you know when it was that you didn't know who I was versus when you started to understand that Ben was here and Ben's in your inbox and Ben sells stuff and you enjoy Ben's stuff? And yeah, like, so good. You guys have a good sense of around when it was, but most people don't exactly know when it was. They just know, well, it was around this time, I think, but I'm not really sure. But what I want to explain to you is this: every single one of you here, almost like 98% plus, are either on a recurring with me, or you have bought some more than one thing for me just in the last year. And what I want you to understand is most of you probably don't remember, maybe you do, how you came into this world of mine and what led you to becoming a recurring client or a client that buys things from me on a regular basis. But I want you guys to understand, every single one of you came here because of some foot in the door strategy. Most of you did not buy a high ticket from me the first time. Most of you did not buy a recurring product from me the first time. Give me a number one if you believe that. Give me a number one if you believe that you didn't come into my world buying a high ticket or a recurring product from me the first time. You know how you guys got here? And I want everybody to really understand this because this is important for you in your agency. You guys, most of you came through the door with a simple little foot in the door offer. Something simple, something that was low commitment, something that was low risk. And here's the thing, I want you guys to understand, today, I'm gonna put that exact power in your hands. Basically how to attract people in more of a cold way and make it easy for them to come on board. After today, you're gonna know exactly how to turn cold leads and traffic into people that will pay your digital agency monthly or buy from you multiple times. That's my promise of what you're going to learn on this Big Money Friday. Give me a number one if you're super interested in that. The exact tactic that got you here is the exact same way that I get agency clients the majority of the time. I don't have their trust in the beginning. I just put something super low risk in front of them, just the same way I did with you. Something that was low risk, that was interesting, that was probably pretty shiny. We all like to say that we're not shiny object people, but listen, most of us come into trusting a business because we bought something shiny from them the first time. Give me a number one if you agree with that. Something that was shiny, something that was new, something that caught our attention in a way that maybe wasn't, something that was like hardcore, where we needed to be, but it got us there. Listen, if you don't think that's how you came into a funnel, yeah, most of us do, with any product, with any industry. So after today, here's my promise to you. I'm going to show you how to turn cold leads and traffic into people that will pay your digital agency monthly or buy from you multiple times. So are you ready to dig in? Give me a number one if you're ready to dig in. I'm going to take a drink while you're doing that. I want to see the number ones just to make sure that we've got everybody and everybody can hear me. Good. Good. So here's what we're going to be covering in the next little bit, you guys. Part one, why having a real foot in the door strategy is the secret to getting as many clients as you can handle. Most people mess this up, but you're not going to mess this up after today. That's a promise I can make you. Part two, the exact types of clients that you need to go after with these foot in the door strategies and how you can turn them into 5 to 10K per year clients, meaning each one of these clients are paying you 5 to 10K per year. We don't lead with that, but we're going to get to that. Okay. Part three, the 3 foot in the door strategies that are just crushing it for us right now. I'm going to tell you exactly what they are. And a lot of these are going to look familiar, but I'm really going to make sure you understand who you should be going after right now and what you should be putting in front of them as the foot in the door to get them going with you. After that, we're going to talk about in part 4, how to turn these 3 strategies into 10 to 20K per month in revenue in the next 60 days. And how you can have your first 1 to 5 clients in the next 2 weeks. Give me a big number one if you're ready to get into the good stuff, you're excited about this, and I want to see that chat fill up with number ones. I like knowing that you guys are into it. I like being in masterminds with people where we have enthusiastic folks sitting around a room talking about marketing. Let me know that you're ready to go. Don't be somebody that sits in the back and doesn't talk to me. Let me know that you're ready to go with the number one in the box right now. Okay. Awesome. I have a chat that is absolutely chock full of number ones, people telling me that they're ready to go. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into part one. Let's get into part one. Part one, why having a foot in the door strategy is the secret to getting as many clients as you can handle. Listen, this is the thing. I will say this over and over on this call. There will still be people that get off this call that do not take me seriously. It's the same thing with when people tell you the money's in the list. You can say it 100 times. There will be people that have been doing this 10 years that will not have built a list. There will be people that sit on this call right now, and I will say this 20 times at least on this call. I will say this 20 times at least on this call. There would be people on this call that get off the call that don't do this. Will you do me a favor? Will you be somebody that gets off the call and listens to what I say about foot in the door? Foot in the door offers. Will you do that for me? Give me a yes in the box if you will do that for me. Will you be somebody that actually takes this call seriously and it's not just somebody that's sitting and listening to me in the background and then ignores it and keeps moving on and gets the same results for the next 6 months that they've had until something finally clicks? Okay, if you will lock in with me and you will really get going with this, this is going to be life-changing. Listen, 99% of you here right now are here because you bought a foot in the door product from me first. We've talked about that already. But here's the thing. I don't just use foot in the door strategy to power this business. Okay, I use foot in the door strategies, foot in the door services and products to power my digital agency too. This is the secret to my success, and this will change your life. I know that gets thrown around a lot, but if you really internalize this, it's going to change everything. Are you ready for the secret? Number one, if you're ready for the secret, the big one that changes everything, that if you really do this, you're going to get 2 weeks out from this call and be like, holy shit, where did all these sales come from? What have I been doing the last year to 2 years when I could have been doing this and it's working and money's starting to stack in my bank account? And what's happening here? That's where I want everybody to be 2 weeks from now. If you're ready for the secret, here it is. Here's the secret that changed everything from me. I don't know why people don't understand this, but here it is. This is going to seem simple, but here's the secret. People that don't know you don't trust you. This is dumb, right? You're like, that's the secret? I knew that. I knew that. That's not a secret. I knew that people that don't know me don't trust me. But there's people that will tell me right now that they know this and they don't act like it in their business. Give me a number one if this kind of clicks with you and you're like, you know what, I understand this, but I don't know if I really use this in my business. I don't know if I really wake up every morning understanding this in my business. The secret of running a successful digital agency is understanding that people that don't know you don't trust you. Sounds simple, I know, but stick with me on this. Business owners, the ones that you are going after right now, that you've probably been incredibly frustrated because they won't give you the time of day. Here's why they won't give you the time of day. Because they get hit up 100 times a month from folks trying to lock them into a contract for something. Do you agree that that happens to business owners 100 times a month? And I'm not kidding when I say 100 times a month. 100 times a month, a small business owner, the average small business owner, they're getting hitting up 50 to 100 times a month with people that are trying to sell them a service, sell them a product, and lock them into some long-term deal. Give me number one if you believe me. I want to see what your experience is. What do you think? I know this because when I was a chiropractor running my brick and mortar chiropractic practice, you guys, this crap happened all the time. All right? This crap happened all the time. Folks would come in my office all the time. I didn't know them from Adam, but they would somehow get through, and they would try to pitch me on something that was a commitment, was something that was money that I would have to put down for 6 to 12 months or longer, or it was high ticket and I had to put a lot of risk at play. And I'm like, I don't know you guys. I don't know you guys. And listen, if this happened once every so often, it'd be one thing. This happens 50 to 100 times a month. If you've never run a small business, meaning you weren't the decision maker in a small brick and mortar business, you might not realize this, but I want you to understand, do you think that's exhausting as a small business owner to have that happening all the time? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Do you think it's exhausting to have that happening all the time? It's absolutely exhausting when that's happening all the time. And so the idea is, you got to understand, if you've got people that are going out there and they're putting these offers out there and that's what they're putting out and that's what we have to compete with, we can beat them. We can beat those folks. We beat these folks that are trying to do that, these big contracts, these long-term things. We beat these folks by doing something is different. Most aspiring agency owners, most people that have not really hit that point where it's really taken off for them yet with their agency, they don't do this one thing. They don't do this one thing. Instead of trying to sign clients up for really good stuff, AKA the premium services, I want you to offer something different first. Here's what I want you to offer them. I want you to offer them something, and this is the side that when it gets filled out, I want you to screenshot this. Okay, everybody give me a yes if they can screenshot their slide when I get it all filled out. There's nothing on it yet, but it's going to get all filled out. Here's what I want you to start offering in your agency first. Not that you can't offer the text marketing that's monthly, the big websites that are monthly, the social media marketing that's monthly, the reputation management that's monthly. Not that you can't do that. That needs to happen. but it needs to come later. This is what I want you to do instead. I want you to open the door with number one, an offer that obviously fixes the problem. We have to fix the problem, otherwise they're not even going to think about buying from us. So it has to fix the problem, but it doesn't have to be a big problem. It doesn't have to be something highly technical. It just needs to be a small problem. We have to fix the problem. The second thing we have to do is we have to do something. We have to play into this shiny object syndrome. Does everybody understand this? We all talk about shiny object syndrome as being a bad thing. Well, it's a bad thing when it's us, correct? It's a bad thing when it's us because it distracts us from getting to a goal. But when shiny object syndrome is good is when you use it to attract somebody. And then once they're attracted, once you've delivered something that was good plus shiny, that's when you go in and you offer them the really deep stuff. We think shiny object syndrome is about stuff that's shallow. There's not much depth to it. That may be true, but it does solve small problems. But then we got to get to the good stuff. But we open up with something shiny. Give me a number one if you guys can offer something shiny, if I give you something shiny to offer to these businesses. Can you do that? Keep in mind, it's just the door opener. It's just the foot in the door, okay? So from there, it's got to be shiny compared to their old busted stuff. There's the big one. It's low risk to say yes to. How many of you feel like you could sell a lot more if they risk next to nothing to get it? If they risk next to nothing to get it. Yeah, that's a big one. If you make an offer that's low risk, meaning it's not a monthly, they don't have to commit to anything. A lot of people have commitment problems because the people that are offering them commitments, they don't trust them yet. So we want to offer something that's low risk to say yes to. Here's the other thing, and most people don't understand this, and it drives me crazy. These people that don't trust you yet, these people that are not ready to take, you know, the relationship to the next level and spend a lot of money with you or sign up for a monthly, they really just want to see what you can do and how fast you can do it. Does everybody understand what happens? What happens if you can offer a problem to be solved and you can do it fast? What happens in the mind of a prospect if you can promise something and deliver on it within a week? Do you stand out? They gave you a shot. They gave you a shot. They signed up for something, and within a week you had delivered on what you said you were going to do. I don't mean that you just delivered on what you said you were going to do. I mean you delivered on what you said you were going to do in under a week. That is powerful. Give me a number one if that makes sense to you. I'm going to take a small break to ask this question. Does the whole deliver fast make sense to you? How many of you think it's important that Amazon gets the package to your house in a couple days, and that's why we continue to go back to Amazon? Yep. It's important, you guys, that you get things there fast. Logistics, quickly, that's the big deal. So that's the other thing. Finally, for you, if you're going to get these things fast, if you're going to deliver on the promise that you made, you got to have something that takes you 1 to 2 hours to fulfill, and you can train people to do the fulfillment for you when you start stacking clients fast. Does this make sense? Give me a yes if you understand. These are the things that we have to offer to get on the map, to even get in the game, to get on base so that we have a chance of really getting to sell the things that we want to sell. Give me a big number one in the box right now. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Okay. What I want you guys to understand about the things that are on your screen right now, and feel free to screenshot this because this is the litmus test for your offers right now. If you're not getting traction, this is the litmus test for offers that will get you traction. This list that I just showed you, that's what a true foot in the door service actually is. And here's the big secret to hyper successful digital agency owners. Okay, here's the secret. This is what they understand. It's hard to get a new customer if you're trying to sell them something big, expensive, or complicated to explain. It's hard to get a new customer. It's not hard to sell an existing customer some of those things, but it's hard to get a new customer with those things. It's extremely easy to sell shiny things that are low risk to say yes to, aka impulse buys. That's not hard. Impulse buys in the agency space happen every single day. Here's the thing. Most people that own businesses don't commit to monthly fees with strangers. Somebody highlight that. Give me an amen in the chat if you agree with that. Most business owners, most people don't commit to monthly fees with strangers. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Most people don't commit to monthly fees with strangers, but they will impulse buy. They will impulse purchase something that they need, and it's shiny if you price it right. Most people will buy quicker if you can also make sure that when they buy it, you can deliver it fast. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Somebody jumped in the chat. Well, they said, well, Ben, you were just talking about this $1,000 a month service last week. Notice, what did I lead with, though, with that $1,000 a month service? How am I selling it? Am I calling the business and trying to sell them a $1,000 a month service? No, if you're paying attention to what we're actually doing to sell that service, what are we doing? We're doing exactly what I'm telling you here. We're leading with a foot in the door service. And if you pay attention, I'm pretty consistent on this across the board. Here is the tragic thing I see daily. New agency owners are leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars per year on the table because they don't want to sell a service that's a one-time fee. How many of you have been conditioned by marketers like me? I talk about recurring all the time because it's important, but how many of you missed the whole part where we get to recurring second most of the time? How many of you missed the part where we talked about we get to recurring second most of the time? It's okay if you did miss it. It's easy to get lost in the shuffle sometimes. The thing that I want you guys to understand is the tragic thing that I see is most people out there miss this part because they only want to jump to the part that sounds the best, which is the recurring. But I want you guys to understand, you're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table if you leave out the recurring part. You're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table if you also leave out the one-time fee part. Give me a yes if you understand this. These are two things that work hand in hand with each other. You don't want to have a business where you're just selling one-time fee stuff. That's stupid. That's absolutely dumb. But you don't want to have a business where you're only selling recurring stuff and high-ticket stuff, because that's also dumb. I'm not saying it doesn't work for everybody, but you're leaving a lot of money off the table. All right. So here's the deal. You can make, I kid you not, you can make 10K a month selling a foot in the door service without any recurring. And the reason you can do that is because more people will buy it faster. More people will buy it a foot in the door, the right one. More people will buy that on impulse. And on top of that, here's the big secret. Somebody that has already spent money with your agency will always take your call. Would you agree with that? Somebody that is already spending money with your agency, even if it was a one-time product, they will always take your call. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? And I want to make sure everybody here understands what I just said. Somebody that bought something from your agency, something that like, if people buy something from your agency, they will always take your call. And if they will take your call, they will listen to you talk about your other offers too. And here's the thing, if you delivered the foot in the door service fast and they got what you promised, they're going to buy the next thing you pitch them, because now you have their trust. Does this make sense before we keep going? Give me a yes if this makes sense. Just give me a quick yes in the box. It's important that you understand, I am the biggest cheerleader for recurring. I am the biggest cheerleader for recurring. You will hear me talk about recurring. You will hear me teach you how to sell recurring 90% of the time. But without the foot in the door stuff, most of you will never get on base. You'll strike out. You'll never get on base. You got to get on base first before you start swinging for the fences without having to get on base. Listen, you guys have 50 to 100 foot in the door clients. Feel free to try to hit some home runs without the foot in the door. Does this make sense? Give me a yes. If you guys have 50 to 100 foot in the door clients and you guys want to go to try to hit some home runs where you go direct to a client and you're saying, hey, buy this recurring, and you don't trust me yet. The reason you can pull that off is you have a whole host of people that will speak well about you. They will give you testimonials. If you got testimonials coming out your ears, you don't need to necessarily do as many foot in the door every single week. But for those of you that don't have that, gotta start with the foot in the doors. All right, so let's talk about this. Part 2. What kind of clients do we want to go after? What kind of people right now with a foot in the door strategy is making me the most money? Would you guys like to know that? Would you guys like a little insight into my business right now so that you get a little bit of an insight into my business and who this is working at the best right now? Okay, so right now, part 2. The exact types of clients you need to go after with these foot in the door strategies. The reason I'm telling you to go after these clients is because these are the ones that are working for me. I'm not going to expect you guys to go and do anything that I'm not doing, okay? So I want you to take the next few months and get super focused on the following verticals, okay? Here's the following verticals. By the way, the stuff I'm about to teach you works outside of these verticals. These are just the ones that are doing the best for me right now. A lot of these are going to seem familiar to you if you follow me. Here's the first one. Ready? Here's the first one. Mid to large ticket restaurants with bars. Is anybody surprised that that's coming out of my mouth? Is anybody surprised that mid to large ticket restaurants with bars is coming out of my mouth? The reason that this is something that I love is because mid to large ticket restaurants with bars, there is a lot of money that is coming into these places. There's a lot of money to be made, when you have a bar and you can charge for alcohol. Listen, if you are not big into drinking alcohol, that's okay. I don't drink a lot of alcohol compared to most folks at all, but I spend my time in these places and I have a lot of these customers. I'm working on closing one of them right now. And what I want you guys to understand is mid to large ticket restaurants. I'm talking about the steak places. I'm talking about the high-end burger places. I'm talking about the Italian places. I'm not talking about chains. I'm talking about mid to large ticket restaurants that also happen to have a bar. These are the places that you need to be thinking about, because not only are they doing well and they're moving and they're doing their own thing, and we don't save any businesses. We help businesses that are already doing well to keep going. But when they have a bar, they're going to have extra money that they can put into a foot in the door strategy that you're selling that can help them do something they need to do. Give me a yes if this makes sense. Give me a yes if this makes sense. Rick says, even with foot in the door offers, do you find that you have a lot of work to do with tons of decision makers? No, because if it's an easy foot in the door strategy that's shiny, they sell themselves, they talk amongst each other, and I don't have to worry about it. If you're selling something complicated, they have to run it up the ladder. If you're selling something high commitment, they have to run it up the ladder. If you're selling something that's low ticket, that's easy to say yes to, they don't have to run it up the ladder because they have a limit. How many of you realize that every manager out there has a limit that they can spend on something, marketing or not, before they have to go talk to the boss? Give me a yes if you understand that, because I'm getting some questions that I want to make sure everybody here understands that there's a limit that these people have that they can spend on marketing and promotions and things like that they don't have to go check with the manager. Those of you that have run businesses or you've been in businesses and you've worked for people before, you know that you've got a limit. When you go over that limit, you have to go ask permission. Everything that we're doing foot in the door typically is below that limit. Give me a number one if that's a light bulb moment for you. It's not on the slide, but I want to make sure everybody heard me on that. Give me a number one if that's a light bulb moment for you guys. Listen, foot in the doors, we're going to slip it underneath that line. We're going to slip it underneath that line, right? All right, so first things first, we're going to get to the 3 offers that are working for me in a second. But right now, let's talk about the people that I'm offering it to. Mid to large ticket restaurants with bars is the first one. The second is independent doctors and lawyers' offices. I typically like to go after the ones that have at least 2 doctors, at least 2 lawyers in the practice. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Independent doctors and lawyers' offices. I like these because there is money. There is a marketing budget, you guys. There is a marketing budget. There is money to be spent, and they will spend it because they know that's what it takes. From there, I like home services companies too. I like home services companies. I like people that run landscaping businesses, not the ones that are startup landscaping businesses, the ones that have been doing it for a while and they need a little help with the digital. They got money to spend. They're ready to expand. They're like making their crew larger so they can take on more jobs, but they want to expand quicker, and I'm going to help them get there faster. Home services companies could be your heating and air. Home service companies could be your lawn care. Everybody understand these. These are the ones that what I'm about to show you, these are the ones that this works the best on for me. That's not to say that if you've got something that doesn't fit in one of these, but these are the ones that are the best. Give me a yes when you screenshotted this or you've taken notes on it and you're ready to move on. Just give me a quick yes or number one in the box so I know you got it. I know a lot of people like to screenshot. I know a lot of people like to take notes on this stuff. I want to make sure everybody's got this before we go. We good? We good? Okay. Now the reason that we're going to focus on these particular people is all of these folks have $500 to $1,000 that they can spend on a one-time purchase, and they will do it if it will help the business. And all of them can do it without typically, they can spend between $500 to $1,000 or below any of this. They can spend this money without having to go ask the owner. Give me a yes if this makes sense to you. This is probably the most important part of this is you can get in here and you're not signing up for $1,000 a month or $300 a month, which in their year is going to be, you know, a chunk of change. You got something that's a one-time purchase. If they get in trouble with their manager, they're not getting fired for it for $500 to $1,000. If we're going after these successful businesses already, okay? Here's the key thing, you guys, and I want you guys to understand this. Of the niches that I just showed you, the mid-ticket to large restaurants with bars, the independent doctors and lawyers office, the home services companies, the reason we go after them is they've got $500 to $1,000 to spend and they can do it one time. They don't have to run it up the ladder. But here's the most important part of this. All of these kinds of businesses have the potential to turn into monthly clients once you gain their trust. Give me a number one if you agree with this. Give me a number one. Not only can they spend that first bit of money with you, but every single one of those absolutely has the potential to turn into a monthly if you gain their trust first. If you hit some home runs later on, it's because you hit singles for them early on. You hit a couple singles for you, they will trust for you to swing for the fences for them, okay? Also, these folks have lots of other business owner friends in the community who they will refer you to once you have their trust. Give me number two if you agree with that point. The businesses that I showed you interact with a lot of other businesses. These are what we call gateway type businesses. You rock these out, you're going to get a lot of the others too. You will get what we call transferred trust. If you hit a home run for them, meaning you didn't start with a home run, you just hit some singles, you gain their trust, you start hitting some home runs with the higher services, they're going to send you to their friends, their non-competitor friends. Does this make sense before we get into what we're actually doing foot in the door wise? What we're actually offering foot in the door services. Give me a yes if this makes sense and you're ready to jump in to the 3 foot in the door services. Do me a bigger favor. Type a number 3 in the box if you're ready to get into the 3 foot in the door services and you understand everything thus far. I'm gonna take a drink while you guys are doing that. Okay. Lots of 3s in the box. Thank you guys. I appreciate the participation. So let's talk about what we're actually doing. Let's talk about what we're actually doing. Part 3, the 3 foot in the door strategies that we've been killing it with the last 6 months. I want you to steal these. I want you to use these. I'm not worried about competition from you guys. There is more than enough out there to go around to everybody that is here. Trust me on this. If you will take these from me and actually do something with them when we get off this call, give me a yes in the box right now. Give me a yes in the box if you're going to actually take what I show you and do something with it. That's the only reason I get on these calls is I want you guys to actually do something with this. I don't like hearing myself talk despite what some people may think. I really want you guys to do something with this. Okay, so let's talk about it. The 3 monster foot in the door strategies that have been making a ton of money for us in the last 6 months, probably a little longer than that. And really, this is going to be my bread and butter in 2024. Okay, I want everybody to understand this is where I'm putting my effort in 2024 because this is working so well right now, and I think it's going to continue to work all through 2024. Here's the first one. Ready? This is the most boring one. The first one's the most boring one, but it does well. 5-page mini websites. By the way, I'll talk about these a little more in a second. 5-page mini websites. That's number 1. Number 2 is Google review repair using NFC cards. We'll talk about this in a second. Number 3 is NFC business cards with a 1-page digital business card to go with it. Now, can I explain these a little bit? Can I explain these a little bit to you? Can I explain these so you understand exactly what I'm doing? Like this is the overview, but can I explain exactly what that means? Okay. So these 5-page mini websites, I'm not talking about websites that take me forever to build. I'm talking about websites that I charge $500 to $1,000 for one time. I'm not charging for hosting. This is not ongoing. They get no ongoing support. I'm not doing anything after I build it. Give me a yes if you understand that. I'm not doing anything ongoing with these sites that I build. Okay? When I'm charging recurring for a website, it's because I'm managing it. I'm helping them make sure they understand how to get their staff to use it. But for these 5-page sites that I can do quickly, you guys, I'm doing a real simple $500 to $1,000. How many of you would take $500 to $1,000 to build a 5-page website? Give me a yes in the box right now. You all, please believe me when I tell you, you can sell the shit out of this every day of the week. There is no freaking end to how many people have a website that was built 5 to 10 years ago that are trying to repair their website, and they will pay you $500 to $1,000 one time to do it because it beats everything else out there. They're finally not relying on their little cousin's daughter or son to build it for them. You know, they want something that looks professional. They want to say that they did spend money on something so that they feel like they spent some money, but you know, $500 to $1,000 is easy. If you can show them that you can build a good one. These are not WordPress sites. The sites that I built, I'm building them on my platform that's super simple, but it builds really good websites. $500 to $1,000 one time. I can set one of these up in under an hour. Do you believe me? I have a system, obviously, but I can set one of these up in under an hour. Let me ask you guys a question, and I want you to be real honest with me in the chat right now. How many of you are okay with getting paid $500 to $1,000 for an hour of work? Be honest. How many of you are okay with getting paid $500 to $1,000 for an hour of work? I am. Not only do I make $500 to $1,000, you guys, but I get the satisfaction of knowing that I'm helping a small business to really do some good things because I have it templated in a way that I can really take care of them. Here's the thing. What happens if you do 10 of these a month? What's the money that comes through the door? If you could do 10 of these, meaning it's easy to sell, it's easy to do in an hour, you work 10 hours a month basically implementing this, you're making $5K to $10K. Okay? $5K to $10K a month. Okay. Here's the thing. Instead of them going back and forth thinking about whether they should invest in a website or someone to build it and who it is, they have one for a one-time fee and it delivered it under a week. How many of you think that I can sell a lot of these and one of the sticking points is I guarantee that I can deliver it in a week? How many of you think that that's an important part of that whole shtick? Hey, listen, you want a website? You want one that's beautiful? Let me show you some examples. It's going to be $500 to $1,000 for 5 pages. I can get it set up for you in under a week. We will be ready to fly. You will have something that is better than your old busted site in under a week, right? You guys, a lot of these people just want to get on with it. So does everybody understand from a 10,000 foot view? You don't have to understand all the pieces and how I do the work yet, but do you understand from 10,000 feet up what I'm doing with the 5-page mini websites, why it's attractive? You guys, if you don't know, I don't know how many different ways I can say it. There are so many people out there that need a website done. I get these gigs all the freaking time. Because listen, when you tell people you own a digital agency, what's the first thing they say? How many of you have ever done this? How many of you have ever told somebody else that they asked what you did and you said you own a digital agency and the first thing that came out of their mouth was, oh, like you build websites? Happens to me all the time. And you know, I want to say this. I want to say actually I do things much more complicated and smart than that. But here's the thing that I understand. The second that I say, yeah, I build websites, they say, actually, I have a business that needs one right now. Actually, I have a cousin that has a business that needs one right now. Can I connect you with them? You guys, I get more stupid business from that question. I own a digital agency. Oh, cool. You mean like you build websites? Yeah, I do some of that. Oh, I actually need one of those right now. I cannot tell you how many times a week that happens to me when I'm sitting out eating somewhere. So far, so good. You got the first one? Here's the second one. Google repair with NFC cards. How many of you have ever seen a business that was kicking ass, but they got some shitty reviews because they had the wrong customer walk in? You guys ever seen that happen? How many of you have ever seen a really good business out there that all of a sudden they had some shitty reviews pop up and it really got into the owner or manager's head? You guys, this happens all the time. What if you could fix it? What if you could fix it? You know the easiest way to fix that? How many of you know the easiest way to fix this? I'm going to teach you something that's going to make you a lot of money right now if you don't know this. How many of you know how to fix a business that got a shitty review or two and the people that put it there aren't reasonable? How you fix it is you bury the bad ones. Give me a number one in the box if you understand what I just said. You fix a bad review or two that they want to disappear by burying it with good reviews. Here's how I do this. $500 one-time fee. $500 one-time fee. I set them up in under an hour. I set up 5 to 10 NFC cards for their staff to use. When people are presented with this card, they put their phone in front of it. The card takes them directly to a page to leave a review. This is after they've had a good experience in the restaurant or the doctor's offices. They hold the phone up, it takes them directly to a place. They get the review on the spot. Within a week to 2 weeks, you have buried the review. There is not many people out there that can guarantee this. And here's the thing. We can set this up for businesses in under an hour. In the span of a week, we have outweighed any bad reviews that were showing up. Is there value here? Is this shiny? Does it solve a problem? Everybody understand what I'm saying? Give me a number one if you get it. Give me a number one if you get it. Does this one make sense? I got to make sure we're all on the same page. I don't want to just come in today and you guys not learn something. I want to make sure this is it. We have an NFC card. We hand it to our wait staff. We hand it to our front desk. When somebody says they had a great experience in the business, they say, oh, would you leave us a review? Sure. Here, hold your phone up to this. Now, can you charge monthly for additional features to both of the services that I've talked about so far? Can you charge monthly for additional features for both of the things that I have talked about so far? Give me a yes if you understand where I'm going with this. But everybody understand this? Okay, cool. Here's my last one. I get so much stupid business from this last one. This last one coming up is my most popular that I do all the time because it's so visual. Ready? And all I have to do is do what I'm doing in the picture. How many times do you think I have flashed this stupid ass plastic card in the last 6 months? Just the last 6 months. Obviously before then, but in the last 6 months, how many times do you think I have flashed this card in front of a potential client that didn't even know I was about to pitch them something? So many times. So many times. How many times do you think that I have used social media to talk about this card? So many times. You guys, here's the business model. You have an NFC business card, a card that you hold in front of a phone, and it will open a web page. We sell the card. We program the cards for the businesses. The card leads to a one-page digital business card that can be edited anytime, by the way, but it leads to a card that leads to all their things. If you want to call them, if you want to text them, if you want to go to their website, if you want to go to their socials, we do this. This is a $200 to $500 one-time fee. We can set this up in under an hour. We get the cards together and use our one-page digital template to set these up. We deliver the cards to the staff. They have them in a week. And let me tell you, folks flip out over this one because there's a physical and digital component. Does this make sense so far? Does this make sense so far? Give me a yes if you understand the shininess, the low commitment, the low risk. You guys, This is how you get on base. This is how you get on base. Have I done a decent job so far? A decent job showing you how to get on base so far. If you're struggling to get people as clients, if you will lean into these three things, if you will lean into those three verticals that I talked about with those three things, you will see some big things. Now, I've given you guys a good overview of this so far. Can I show you how to actually really do this? And I'm talking, and I'm being very specific with my results here. Can I show you how to get 15 to 24 clients a month with the 3 foot in the door services that I've showed you already? Can I specifically show you guys how I'm knocking out 15 to 24 clients a month with these foot in the door services? Can I show you how to get 15 to 24 clients a month with the foot in the door services? Give me a yes in the box if you'd like to know how we take the things that we just learned and how we actually get customers with them, how we make those connections, how we connect with people, how we sell these services to the tune of 15 to 24 months. Let me ask you a question. Between $200 to $1,000 for the service one-time fee, if I could show you how to get 15 to 24, and that was all we made, would that change your business? Would that change your business? Give me a yes if so. Would it change your business? Okay. I haven't even mentioned yet. Also this, if I could show you how to take those 15 to 24 and how to convert 90% of those people that have already paid you the one time for the foot in the door, if I could show you how to convert 90% of them into a $300 a month plus client in under 30 days from the time they took the foot in the door, would you be interested in learning how to do that? Give me a yes in the box if you'd like to know how to do that. Give me a yes in the box if you'd like to know how to do that. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Part four, how to turn these 3 strategies, the 3 foot in the door services that I've already showed you, to 10 to 20K per month in revenue in the next 60 days. And also, by the way, you can have your first 1 to 5 clients in the next 2 weeks. I want you to answer a couple questions for me, actually 3 questions, but let's get into the first one. What do you think happens when you offer up a service that's shiny, needed desperately by the business, that's easy to afford, and low risk for the manager or owner to say yes to? What do you think happens? What do you think happens when you switch over from trying to hit home run balls to just offering something that's shiny? It's needed, it solves one problem, one solution, it's easy to afford, it's low risk for the owner to say, what do you think happens? You start getting on base. You start getting on base. You start putting yourself in a position where people are actually writing you a check. They're actually sliding their card. They're actually putting in their card into your order form online. That's what happens. Another question. What do you think happens when you can fulfill these services in under an hour and get the client what they paid for in under a week? What do you think happens to your bank account / their feelings about you? What do you think happens to your bank account / their feelings about you when you can deliver quickly? Do you think those are all very, very good things that happen to both? You become a trusted provider, but also, do you think you are able to take on a lot of business because it only takes you an hour to deliver these things? Yes? Last question. If I can show you exactly how to get 15 to 24 clients a month with these foot in the door services, and then how to convert 90% of those people that take you up on those foot in the doors into $300 plus per month clients, and I can show you how to get there in a very small amount of time, could you give me 2 hours next week to show you exactly how you can do it? Give me a yes in the box. If you can give me 2 hours and I can give you the full specifics, the full story behind this. I've given you a great overview today. I've given you a lot of behind the scenes of what we're doing, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to take 2 hours with each and every one of you here, and I would like to show you exactly how this works. Give me a big number 1 if I have your permission to tell you about how I'm going to do that. Give me a number 1 in the box if I have your permission right now to tell you about how I'm going to take you by the hand. 2 hours is what it'll take, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. Okay, let's get into it. You guys, I put something together called the Foot in the Door Secrets Workshop, and what I'm going to show you is the exact foot in the door strategy we've been using, exactly how they come together, and how you can work to fulfill all these in around an hour. And on top of that, how we turn each of these people that takes us up on this into recurring revenue clients in under 30 days. Let me tell you about the parts of this. Part one, we're going to look at this from 10,000 feet. You're going to see the foot in the door secrets workshop. You're going to see these secrets, all of them, how they work, how we get this. You're going to learn the process, how we're closing 1 to 5 clients a week, and how you can too, even if you've never done this before, how you can close them using these foot in the door services within 30 days. Okay, so that's part one. That's going to be the 10,000 foot overview. Then we're going to get into specifics. The first one is we're going to go specifically into exactly how we build these sites, what these sites look like, exactly what we're delivering for the clients, how we're taking a 5-page mini site template, turning it into $500 to $1,000, and how you can do all the work in 1 to 2 hours. Give me number 2 in the box if you're excited to learn kind of the dead simple website model that we're doing. That is just, it's so simple, but there's so many people that need this. It's ridiculous how many people keep signing up for boring old ass websites. They're not boring to me because of the checks that keep hitting the bank account. Give me a number 2 in the box if you'd like to understand exactly what we're doing for that to happen. Yes? Okay, let's keep going. Part 3, the Google repair with NFC cards with the door service. You're going to learn exactly how to help your clients get a ton of positive reviews using a powerful NFC card and Google review strategy, all done in the span of an hour to set up. Give you number 3 in the box if you'd like to understand how we review bomb with real good reviews to bury bad reviews. Let me tell you, I cannot tell you how much business I get with this, with people saying, yes, we got some bad reviews. I'd like to get it taken care of. This is a specialty of mine, and they pay me really well for it. From here, NFC business cards with a 1-page digital business card to go with it. You're going to get inside and you're going to learn exactly, this is absolutely one of the most popular services I've offered all year. It's going to explode even more next year if it's any indication of what I'm seeing. In just an hour, we set these things up. We earn anywhere from $100 to $300 every time we set these up. It could be actually a lot more, but we'll get to that inside. $100 to $300 to set this up. It's easy to say yes to. It's a flashy card, and they absolutely flip over this. If you're excited about part 4 and understanding exactly how we're doing these NFC cards, exactly how we're doing the digital site to go with it, and exactly how we're getting in front of these people, give me a big number 4 in the box right now. Let's see the chat fill up with number 4s. I want to make sure that you guys are excited about these 3 services, especially this one. This one's been a big foot in the door for me because people just go nuts over this everywhere we go and every time I talk about it on social media. Okay, from there, I want to talk to you guys about part 5. This is probably the most important part. It's the thing that maybe a lot of you are missing. It's this: how do you get in front of people? How do you attract them, and how do you close the client this year with these foot in the door services? I'm going to show you exactly how to get in front of people, not only in person, which I've talked about a little on the call. I'm going to show you how to get in front of a ton of these people with these services online. So for those of you that don't want to leave the house, but you'd like to close a ton of these clients, I'm going to show you exactly how we get in front of a ton of these clients from your house, from the coffee shop. So for those of you that want to do in person, I'll absolutely show you what we're doing there, but I'm also going to show you guys the days that I don't want to get out of the house, how we're still closing clients. Give me a number 5 if you're excited about learning how we're closing clients both in person also, but online. Give me a yes or a 5 in the box if you're pumped about part 5 and you're ready to learn those things. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. I'm paying attention to who's putting those number 5s in. Trust me, it's important. It's important. Okay. All right. Finally, part 6. And this is the thing that I want you guys to really pay attention to. I'm not leaving anything out here. I want you guys to understand this. Part 6 is I'm going to teach you guys, once you have the foot in the door client, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn them into a monthly client. How many of you want the monthlies, but you feel like you've been skipping a step in between? How many of you want the monthlies, but you feel like you've been skipping a step in between? Right? I'm going to show you guys, without a doubt, exactly how each and every one of you that get inside can take these foot in the door clients and upgrade them within 30 days to a big time monthly or high ticket sale, and how you can close 90% of them. Does all of this make sense so far? Give me a yes if it makes sense so far. Give me a yes if you're ready to get inside. I want to see the yeses in the box right now. Let me know that you're ready to get inside. Let me know that you want a seat for this. If you want the link, give me a yes in the box right now. I want to know that you're in. There's one catch, and I want to make sure that I'm completely upfront with this catch. This is important that you pay attention to this one part before we get to it. We want to keep this special. We want this to be something that can help you grow faster, that can help the next year be huge. There's 97 seats. The reason we're doing 97 seats is because I want to make sure that I can answer each and every one of your questions live. That's the amount of people that I can handle next week. When we hit 97 seats, we are closing this down. No exceptions. If you miss one of the seats, we will not make exceptions. I need to know everybody here, every single one of you here, please, even if you've not answered before, type a number one. Type a number one if you understand what I'm saying right now. There's 97 seats and 97 seats alone. Here's the other side of this. What I'm about to show you guys has made me a lot of money over the last year, okay? More importantly, the foot in the doors that aren't these that made me a lot of money before then. What I need you guys to understand is this is worth a lot more than what you were going to pay for it. So here's what we're going to do. Rather than charging the amount that I wanted to charge, we're going to charge much less than that amount. But here's the thing. The price goes up every few sales. If you get in sooner, you get a better deal. Are you okay with that? Everybody okay with that? Listen, you get in sooner, you get a better deal. The price goes up every 25 seats until we're sold out. I don't care if you're number 97, you're still getting a deal compared to what we should be charging, but I like my hustlers. I like my hustlers. I want you guys to get in fast. So here's the deal. Don't take one of the spots, one of those 97 spots, if you're not ready to get in. Is that a deal? Type the number one in the box right now if we have a deal. Number one in the box right now if we have a deal. Okay. Here's the thing, you guys. Here's the thing I want you to understand. If you're ready to get inside right now, I'm about to post the link. You will see the link first if you do this. If you type FITD for foot in the door, FITD in the box right now, you are going to see the link before anybody else. It's going to pop up in your chat before we actually show it on the screen. If you type FITD in the box, you should see it in your chat right now, meaning you have a head start on everybody that did not type FITD in the chat. You have a head start on all of those people because I've not shown it on the screen yet. So if you type FITD, you should be seeing the link in the chat right now. For those of you that did not type it, you got about 5 more seconds until I put it on the screen for you. I want you to go right now to this address. Get one of the 97 seats now. Go to spskr.com/FITD money. That's foot in the door money. Go right now. While you guys are going to get a seat, I'm going to recap what we're getting inside. The second that you made it on the other side of that buy process and you grab one of those 97 seats, I want you to come back and type I am in. I'm in when you get in. So jump back in. Type I'm in when you made it in. Right now, I'm going to recap everything, and then I'm going to welcome each and every one of you that got one of those 97 seats in. Here's what you get as you get inside. Part one, our foot in the door secrets from 10,000 feet strategy. We're going to give you the full 10,000 foot view from the top. The full view from the top if you get one of those seats. We're going to go through this process. From there, we're going to break everything down piece by piece. Part two, I'm going to go specifically through the 5-page mini site service. You're going to see exactly how we do websites in a way that's the easiest thing in the world for people to say yes to. I sell these like crazy because it's so easy to say yes to, and so many people need their existing website revamped, or they've got a new project where they need a website. This one will go like wildfire once you start putting it in people's hands, because word will spread that people can get a website from you that looks amazing and is mobile responsive and is fast, that they can get these things from you for $500 to $1,000. I'm going to show you guys how to do it. I'm not going to show you some complicated thing that's going to take you hours. I'm going to show you how to have a website up for a brand new client that signed up and paid you $500 to $1,000. I'm going to show you how to do that in under an hour. From there, part three, our Google review repair with NFC cards. I'm going to show you how to do Google repair, review repair, and even better than that, how to get a ton of reviews for a business with NFC cards. It's a system, it's a process, but you guys, it works, and you can do so much in a short period of time. More important than that, you guys can set this up in under an hour and they will pay you good money for it. From there, part four, NFC business cards that attach to a one-page website. I'm going to show you guys exactly how to set up these things. These things are some of our favorites right now because people flip over them. Whenever we show them online, whenever we show them in person, people flip over them and they want their own. I'm going to show you how to make $100 to $300 every time you sell these, how to set it up in an hour, and then how we lead to this next thing. More importantly than that, I'm going to show you how to use the internet to get clients. I'm going to show you the internet to get clients, meaning you can sit at home, you can get clients, you can sell these foot in the door services like a crazy person to cold prospects using the internet. I'm also going to show you guys how to sell them in person. If you guys are out to eat, if you guys go out to places you like, being out and about, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. By the way, my chat is absolutely filled with people that say I'm in. They are making. I'm about to go welcome those folks in. If you have not told me that you're in yet, if you've already told me, I got it. But if you've not told me, make sure you get back in the chat and let me know. If you don't have a seat right now, here's what I will advise you. Because my chat is full of people that said I'm in, make sure you secure your seat now. Don't wait. There's one more part I got to tell you about. It's part 6, the always a yes upgrade strategy. You're going to understand the exact pitch that we use to upgrade 90% of the people that take our foot in the door strategy to a recurring monthly. Remember, you may not believe 90% right now. If you've tried to sell stuff, you're like, there's no way it's 90%. Remember, it's 90% because I'm not selling it to cold traffic. I'm not selling my recurring stuff to cold traffic. I'm selling it to people that took the foot in the door service, and your numbers are completely different when you're selling your recurring stuff, your higher ticket stuff to people that are already clients of yours. Okay? Now, all you got to do, go to spskr.com/FITD money. That link is in your chat right now. While you guys are doing that, if you haven't got your seat yet, remember there's 97 seats. The price goes up every 25 seats sold. It looking like these are going quick, so make sure that you get in there fast. I will tell you guys, if you're on the webinar right now, I am holding the price for you while I'm on the webinar. I'm not raising the price while you're on the webinar. If you showed up today, I will hold your seat past the 25 as long as you buy while you're still on the webinar. Is that fair? Give me a yes if that's fair. If I hold that 25, even if it's over 25, which I guarantee it is with all the people I've said that's in, I'm going to hold it for each and every one of you as long as you get off the webinar. The second that we get off the webinar, if we've gone over 25, if we've gone over 50, the price goes up. I'm doing that because you showed up, and if you show up, you deserve good things. You deserve good things. Half the battle, 80, 90% of the battle most of the time is jumping in and showing up. Now, here's the deal. I want to welcome in Byron. I want to welcome in Merlin. I want to welcome in Kip. I want to welcome in Robert. I want to welcome in my man Rob. Hey, Rob, what's up, buddy? I want to welcome in Glenn. I want to welcome in Brian. I want to welcome in Russell. I want to welcome in Mark. I want to welcome in Art. Welcome, Art. I want to welcome in Catherine. Hey, Catherine, it's good to see you. I want to welcome in Carrie. I want to welcome in another Catherine. We have a different Catherine that made it in too. I want to welcome you into. Steve made it in. We've got Roger that made it in. We got Donald that made it in. We've got, let's see who else we got. We got Jackie that made it in. We've got Daniel that made it in. We've got Tuck that made it in. We've got Don that made it in. We've got another Jackie, a different Jackie that made it in. All right. And from there, let's see who else we got. Eric made it in. We've got Tom Jones that made it in. It's not unusual. It's not unusual, my friend. Tom's never heard any of those jokes before. But it's not unusual for my man Tom to be in, and I'm excited that you're in, buddy. And I'll make 0 Tom Jones references on the actual call. I'm kidding. I'm going to make a few because we're going to have fun together, and people, yeah, it'll be great. You'll have a great time with it. I'm kidding. So Tom's in. We've got, let's see who else we made it in. We got Jade that made it in. We got Lindsay that made it in. Tom says if I don't make references, yeah, he's out. So I love it. So we're going to do it. I will sing a little Tom Jones for you. Just remind me. We got Alexis that made it in. I've got lots of other people that are typing it in, but right now I want to make sure that we get to any questions that you have. All right. I want to make sure that you have questions. You said 2 hours next week, but the webinar shows 1 hour. Typically, Mark, when we set up these webinars that are fulfillment webinars, meaning we're actually going to do the workshop for you, it's just timed for an hour. Because if I were to go 8 hours, I could set it for an hour, we would still be able to go 8 hours. So just keep in mind, it'll be 2 hours with me next week. That's what you can count on, even though that webinar just says an hour. All right, good stuff. Now, we got Dave that made it in. We got Bob that made it in. We've got Samantha that made it in. We've got lots more. I will get back to the I'm-ins in a minute. We got Gregory that made it in. Let's see here. The thing that I want you guys to understand, we got Michael that made it in. The thing that I want you guys to realize right now is this. Next week, I'm going to be taking you through not only showing you the very like E equals MC squared, the efficient version of doing all this stuff, I'm going to show you how to turn it into long-term income too. So we're going to go through how to get a ton of customers. I'm talking 15 to 24 customers a month. That's what we're doing right now. I'm going to show you guys how to do that, exactly how we're doing it. All you have to do is go grab one of those 97 seats. When we get on this call next week, by the time you get off the call, I fully expect a chunk of you to have a call. We're going to do this call next week. By the time the week is over, like not just because we have a holiday next week, but by the time we've gone 1 week from the time of the call, I expect every single one of you that is in there, I expect all of you to either have a client locked down or have one ready to pay you. It's doable. After 2 weeks, every single one of you should have your first client doing this. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? Every single one of you, all 97 that make it in, I fully expect you within a week of the call next week, the live call that we're doing, to have your first client or to have a client almost ready to go. And after that, 2 weeks in, every single one of you, I expect that. Once you get that, I expect you to start to understand how to recreate this over and over and over again. Okay? Now, here's the deal. I kept you guys for a little over an hour here. I won't keep you over an hour and 15 minutes. I want to say thank you to everybody that made it out today. Those of you that got a seat, I want to welcome you inside of the Foot in the Door Secrets Workshop. We're going to do this live next week. Right now, before we get into the Foot in the Door Workshop next week, I want you guys to take the weekend. I want you to rest, get some relaxation in. But next week, I'm going to show you something that I want you to go hustle. I want you to go hustle hard. This stuff's not hard to do. Once you understand exactly what we're doing with this Foot in the Door stuff and we're focused on it, you're going to start seeing things move. Meaning all the other stuff you've learned from me throughout the year should start moving too within 30 days. Because all that recurring stuff that you've learned from me and you've learned from my friends, all that recurring stuff should be fed by this. Give me a number one if you understand that. Give me a number one if you understand that. All the recurring stuff that we've taught gets fed by this. And that's where things get really, really interesting, you guys. And let me tell you, the other thing I want everybody here to understand, and please pay attention to what I'm saying right now, is right now, this time of year, is the best time to be learning this, because there's a lot of people that are looking for a tax write-off right here at the end. Give me a number one if you understand what I just said. There's a lot of business owners that are looking for that last little tax write-off at the end of the year. And guess what a great tax write-off is? It's that $500 to $1,000 that you guys are going to put in front of them that is going to get them one of these foot in the door strategies. They're going to do it because it's shiny, it looks cool, it's going to solve some problems, but they're also going to write it off of their taxes. It's going to feel like they're getting your things for free, even though they're putting money in your pocket, which is kind of badass. Okay, listen, go to spskr.com/FITD money. I will see each and every one of you next week as we get in. Remember, 97 seats. Once they're gone, they're gone. The second that we close this call, the whole every 25 seats, the price goes up and goes into effect. If you have not gotten in yet, get in now. spskr.com/FITD money. Thank you guys for being here. Have a happy weekend. Happy Friday. Be safe this weekend. Take care of yourselves. Go hug somebody you love. Have a little fun, but take care of yourself. All right. Thanks for coming to Big Money Friday. I had fun. I hope you had fun. For those of you that made it inside, I will see you next week on our Foot in the Door Secrets Workshop. Be good. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.